Mr. Black Darkness's curse had to do with Leafy's downfall.
This is all the crap you caused me.
After Leafy left YouTube in 2017, fans would constantly pester Mr. Black Darkness to remove Leafy's curse. You know, they thought perhaps maybe if it was lifted, he would come back and be able to succeed as a YouTuber again. Few people actually know this, but in the summer of 2019, Vlad actually performed a counterspell and removed Leafy's curse.
I've noticed a recurring comment popping up. Can you guess what it's about? This asshole, of course. Mr. Black Darkness, can you please remove the curse from Leafy? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lift the curse from Leafy's here. See, that's the curse burning away. Now I need to stomp the fucking curse out of her. Yeah. There, curse is lifted. You happy now? Oh, Darkness, I'm not gonna do this shit again.
And well, what do you know? About a year after Leafy's curse was removed in 2019, he came back in 2020 to YouTube and started making videos and was getting a good amount of views for these videos.
Pokimane isn't even attractive. There's really no other way of saying it. She's just not hard, man. She's just really not hard. The average person on Twitch is more attractive than Pokimane.
But then he got permanently banned for apparently making like 4 videos on Pokimane. And hey, that's not Mr. Black Darkness's fault. If you fuck with Pokimane, bad shit's gonna happen to you. I don't know what else to say. It seems like anyone who mentions her name gets banned from the platform or banned from Twitch. Hell, I might get nuked tomorrow for even mentioning her name. It's like she's Voldemort. So yes, the curse on Leafy is now lifted. The circle is complete. Hopefully, he gets some better luck his way. But that was the story of Mr. Black Darkness and his legendary interaction with Leafy as here. The Dark Lord of Satire himself still occasionally uploads to his channel, and he has a large backlog of content that I highly recommend you check out. Let me know what you guys thought about this video down below in the comment section, and let me know who or what we're going to talk about next. Slap like, ring that bell. I'll see you guys next time. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Maybe guys are out. Peace.
That feeling when you discover an ethically whitening charcoal toothpaste? She means full of spit. Hello.
So you guys remember Zillion OP, the Twitch streamer who was banned from Twitch in 2013 for allegedly faking a disability? I talked about it earlier this year, and if you haven't seen that video where I tell the story of the situation surrounding his ban, I highly recommend you watch that video before watching this one. But the too long didn't watch version of the old story is this. Zillion was a streamer who apparently claimed that he was paralyzed from the waist down and would never be able to walk again. He always streamed in a wheelchair, and viewers would often donate to him out of sympathy. Until one day, he suddenly stands up out of his chair when he thinks the camera's not rolling, and people felt duped. The clip of him standing up became known as the Zillion Miracle. It went viral, and Zillion was quickly outed by the internet at large for being a fraud who faked a disability to get a leg up on Twitch. Shortly after the story blew up, Zillion was banned from the site and essentially vanished entirely from the online live streaming community. By 2015, he would essentially disappear from the internet, never to be seen or heard from again. Or so we thought, because very recently, Zillion came back, and its return is what we're going to be focusing on today. In April of 2020, Zillion quietly made a return to Twitch under a new identity. It's Bluish. Hoping to keep a low profile on Twitch, Bluish made no mention of his former self and streamed World of Warcraft for a small audience, all while hoping that nobody identified him as Zillion under his new name. But eventually, the connection between Zillion and Bluish was made. On June 10th of 2020, Zillion's perennial enemy and Facebook hacker Hypnotical caught wind of the It's Bluish account and identified him as Zillion, then quickly rushed to Reddit's livestream failed subreddit to expose Zillion's return to the masses. His post read, "Streamer Zillion OP banned for faking a disability has returned under a new alias and just got partnered," and he added this clip to boot. Zillion's live stream fans caught wind of this and they got big mad. Zillion's alter ego was exposed and his cover totally blown, leading to many reporting his channel to Twitch for ban evasion and others sending angry tweets to Zillion's new It's Bluish Twitter account informing him that he had been busted. After realizing that Hypnotical had blown his cover, Bluish booted up a Twitch stream and addressed the frothing masses. And in this stream, he did indeed confirm that he was Zillion. But that's not all he did in this stream. He made a bold assertion that the going-on 8-year story about him faking a disability was bogus, suggesting that the widely thought to be truth surrounding the story were exaggerated bits of misinformation inherited throughout the years. And he had some pretty solid proof that supported the idea that he didn't outright make up a disability for Twitch.
This is the important part. So look at this date. I don't know when this guy's video of him getting out of his wheelchair was. June 12, 2012. June 9th, 2012. It's in the wheelchair. I'm streaming. And streaming, or I started streaming and she was there beforehand. Concerts.
Hard to get money off of people and to show my disability in such a way that it was going for me to gain money or viewership or whatever.
Zillion/It's Bluish was able to produce Facebook photos dated just prior to the date of him originally streaming, which show him out in public in a wheelchair. Admittedly, rather convincing evidence that pretty much proves that he didn't outright create a fake disabled persona to get big on Twitch, as many outlets have reported over the years, including myself. Even with showing these photos and explaining the situation, this stream mostly fell on deaf ears. His account was terminated for ban evasion literally hours later. He then went over to Mixer and streamed for a bit, but then Mixer got shut down, and now his last bastion of hope is YouTube, and that's where he remains to this day. But Zillion/Bluish isn't taking all this lying down. Lately, it seems like he's been more vocal than ever regarding the old fraudster narrative, and seemingly begging anyone to take a second look at his story. Like, for example, here when Zillion challenged the old narrative within a recent video created by a small YouTuber named IDoRL, called The Untold Story of Zillion OP. In this video, IDoRL gets into contact with Zillion and shares a Twitter DM conversation with him, in which Zillion again points out that all of the articles and videos targeting him over the years don't actually have any direct proof that he was ever disabled or required a wheelchair prior to streaming. I'll post IDoRL's video down below if you want to check that out. They talk about more in the video. And this is where I sort of become invested in the story again. In early September, I finally got up to speed on all the Zillion news, his return as Bluish,